Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Bromford and Hodge Hill Ward Forum of Monday, the 20th of November, 2023. Apologies for the late change of the meeting. Is now being held online due to unforeseen circumstances, but glad that you could all make it at the this late moment. Right, just to let everybody know that this meeting is being recorded for live or subsequent broadcast on the Birmingham City Council's website. The public may record or take photographs. Right, slight change to the agenda. Now, I'll just do some introductions. First of all, so my name is Councillor Diane Donaldson. With me, I've got Councillor Majid Mahmood, and we've got Kevin Gibbon from Cllr Highways and Mike Hinton from Parks. Now, originally Mike was going to do his presentation first, but we'll have a quick change, and Kevin will go first of all, just to give a quick update. Kevin, would you like to give us your briefing, please?
Yes, I will. I'll drop my camera on so everybody can see me. Hello, everybody.
Hi,
so
Kevin.
it's been a while since we've all got together. Nothing's really changed for me. I'm still the steward for the area. Got inspectors that work pretty much all day, every day at the moment, trying to make sure keep the highway safe. So yeah, if there are any issues that you have around highway, by all means, highways and highway maintenance, chuck them in my direction and we'll get somebody to have a look at them.
Okay, anybody got any issues for Kevin on the highways? Nadim's raised his hand. Hi, Nadim.
Hi, Councillor Donaldson. Kevin, hi, are you okay?
Hi, Nadim.
Yeah, if you're okay, because it's quite good news, do you want to provide an update on the email that I received from Cllr Highway Steward in regards to the Bromford Hodge Hill Common? It's been created a job number and it will get done. This is the area in the common that effectively where you supported the installation of the lighting. So do you want to provide an update on that? Thank you.
I haven't seen that response, if I'm honest. I'll be completely honest with you on that. I'm assuming we're talking about the area that was damaged by...
Sorry, Kevin, can I just come in?
Yeah.
Bit of an emergency. I've just had a call from Sandham Grange. They've got 4 people there. I've spoke to one of them, waiting to get into the meeting. So I've advised them that it's an online meeting. Can someone just send me the link and I can send it to them, please?
I'll
have
send
you got
it to
the
you.
link?
Yeah, I'll send it to you now, Councillor Mahmood.
If you could send it by WhatsApp, it'd be easier to send to people.
Okay, do you want to put your number?
Yeah, that's fine.
Can you email me your number and I'll do it that way?
Now.
Okay, thank you.
Cheers.
Yeah, I'm assuming that this is the area that was damaged by the vehicles whilst the street lighting installation was going ahead.
Yeah, Kevin, that's right. I hope you can hear me. So effectively, I don't mind reading out the response from Cllr. You probably didn't. It came from Colin Sampson.
Yeah, it's customer services, yeah.
And effectively what he said, he obviously wanted to thank us for the time to writing to him regarding the damaged grass verge on the Hodge Hill Common.
Yep.
So effectively he said the highways inspector visited the site on the 14th of November, noted that this location does require attention. It's not considered to be an immediate hazard. Therefore, the repair under job reference, and it has been given a job reference number, is not scheduled within the next 12 weeks. We anticipate it to be completed in the following 12-week repair program. He provided a picture. He's aware of it. But the good news is it's been given a job number and will get done.
So what will happen with that? When I went to Hodge Hill Common, I wasn't aware of the larger area from the discussion that we had, Nadim. And the area of Edgware that I was looking at wasn't the area that was the complaint. So what will happen? That will get repaired with topsoil and seed and grass seed within the next 6 months, effectively. So that job will be completed early part of the spring, I would imagine.
Oh, that's super.
Yeah, that's it's looking really good down Hodge Hill Common at the moment. Actually, I was quite impressed when I went down there.
Okay, thanks, Nadine. Thank you, Kevin. I just wanted to know, Kevin, if we can arrange a walkabout sometime, because I've noticed there's a lot of pavements. I know you've been off sick for a while. Now you're back with us, and it's good to see you back.
Good to be back. Thank you.
In your absence, we missed out on having some walkabouts and doing some inspections of the pavements. So there's quite a few areas that need to visit, and also there's a lot of trees with basal growth that need addressing. So
I've actually asked for the pruning program for the basal growth of the trees. So as soon as I get provided that, I'll share that with you.
Yes, please. There's quite a few streets roads that it's quite, the growth is significant. So
yeah.
If you want to, is there a time of year that it's better to do that?
No, not with the basal growth. It's a rotating 12 months. They'll just go round.
It's not something you have to do in the spring or the autumn or something. No. Okay.
No.
Thank you.
It's not the same as the pruning. Certain trees we can only prune at certain times of the year and things like that. It's not the same as that.
Okay.
No. But yeah, with regards to walk around, if you've got some dates in mind, send them over and we'll get something in the diary.
Okay, I'll drop you an email with some dates and times and that, and see what we can do.
Perfect.
Thank you. Right, I've got Councillor Mahmood and I've got street connectors. Oh, street connectors. Would you like to go first? And
can you hear us?
Yes, we can hear you. Yeah.
Perfect. It's
yeah. Can I say something? Sorry, Diane, I missed where you were thinking of doing the walkabout, because I got something I'd like to add about that. So you're thinking about the whole ward, the walkabout.
Well, I've got certain roads that I've got, but if you wanted to give me your roads.
Well, so it wasn't specific roads, although it was more Hodge Hill, the old Hodge Hill, rather than Bromford, because I have done but it was a few years ago now. I looked at drop curbs in the area, having had quite an incident with my husband in a wheelchair, which is no longer applicable, but some years ago. And that was crossing Ventnor Avenue along Cllr Hill Road and getting almost to the other side of the road, cars coming, from the main road, and finding that we couldn't actually access the pavement for another 20 yards down the road. So that was
okay.
And there's a lot. And then I looked at other roads and realised that going along the main roads, Bromford Road, Cllr Hill Road, Stetchford Road, there's very few drop curbs. But I could be a bit out of date with that if you've done something in the last year or two.
Yeah, we have. I did have some installed on Bromford Road, Collingbourne Avenue, going up to the Hunter's Moon, because people were having difficulty getting to the surgery. But you're talking about the specific ones for people in wheelchair, not the actual drop curbs that belong to the residents for their cars to go up and down.
No. Drop curbs for people walking along one of the
what is
main
it, Kevin?
roads.
It's
pedestrian access crossing.
Pedestrian access crossing.
Access crossing. So
pedestrian access crossing.
Especially, people with buggies and wheelchairs and so on.
That
to walk along the main road and crossing over a side road, and suddenly to find that the other side you haven't got a drop curb is a problem.
If you can just drop me an email, Penny, with any roads that you become aware of on your travels, and then I can relay those to Kevin when we can do our walkabouts.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Diane, just another. Oh, sorry, Matt, go on.
Majid, did you want to come in?
Yes, Paul wanted to come in. Let Paul come in. I'm just sending the link to the residents.
Oh, okay. Paul?
And just another thought on drop curbs. I think I mentioned it at the last meeting. So where the cycle path has been put in along the flood defence, at the Bromford road end, I always get confused. Bromford Road, Bromford Lane. At the Bromford Road end, they could do with being a drop curb there. So if anyone's cycling and wants to just jump on the cycle path, there isn't a drop curb anywhere there at all. So just after the bus stop, so where the X12, X13 bus stop is, where the Welcome to Bromford kind of artwork's been put.
So where that little triangle is in the middle of
No, as you come onto Bromford Road's the one that goes up to the Hodge schools, isn't it? I always
That's
get
right, yeah.
confused. It always feels like that should be lane rather than road because it's smaller. But Bromford Road, as you come onto Bromford Road, past the bus stop on the left, just around there really. So as a cyclist, I mean, I'm generally on the curb there, which I probably shouldn't be. But if people are on the road and just want to nip onto the cycle path, or the other way around, coming off
I
the
think
cycle
that's
path.
going on to Farnhurst Road.
No, not as far up as there.
Not
as
that
far
far
up
up.
as there.
Okay,
So
but
just
in that
literally-
direction.
Just on the corner. Just on as the road bends round and then you turn onto Bromford Drive. It's before you turn to Bromford Drive. There's no drop curb at any stage there, and it just means that any cyclist would have to dismount. Whereas it'd be ideal to be able to just come onto the cycle path. I mean, I know signposting would also be helpful. I think, you know, to signpost to say that there's a cycle path there and where that cycle path goes to. And I guess the other question within that is, which is a question we've raised quite a few times before, is like, where does that cycle path connect to? So it might be that you don't need a drop curb because there's a cycle path there somewhere. It just needs to be more visible. Where's the cycle path? But yeah, it's kind of where does that cycle path go to? Because you just come to an abrupt end with no drop curb, and the cycle path is wonderful when you get onto it. It's that connectivity stuff that doesn't always
linking it
work.
up.
Yeah.
All right, Kevin, we can add that to our list of
Yeah,
roads,
I mean,
and then we can do an inspection, see how we can better
if
link
there's
it
none
up.
there,
Okay,
if
so
there
it's only
aren't-
got 2 ticks.
if there aren't any there, it would be up to Alan Porter to have those installed. Because obviously we can only maintain existing network without we wouldn't be able to install them as Cllr.
Right.
It would have to come from district engineers.
Okay, we'll have a walkabout with district.
But we can certainly
engineers as
identify
well.
the areas that need to be looked at. Yeah, certainly.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Paul, for that. Anyone else want to come in on that one?
Yeah. Just give what's his name? Dan of what's guided tour to the WCO tour one to take for. Right. I can't take that for the show. I thought that was it. No, because I don't think he knows how to do. I don't think.
Sorry, you're speaking.
Microphone's
I'll
on.
get. I've got 2 hands up here.
We're going to get that lad locked up.
The homophobic recording.
Yeah.
I think
Alan?
Sergeant Keynes needs to go on
Alan.
mute, possibly.
Can you
There we go.
I can hear you.
mute? Your microphone's on, sorry. Thank you. Right. So I've got 2 hands up. I've got Street Connectors and Majid, so I don't know who wants to come in first.
It was Dan's got. So there's 5 of us here. So it's
Okay.
So Dan's got.
Dan,
Dan's
did
got a
you want to
question.
come in? Is there
Oh yeah,
something
it was
you
just while we were on the talking about the new path along the flood defence. I just wanted, I don't know if it's worth covering under a different agenda item, but we've just seen, I would just wanted to clock an increase in particularly robberies, and it has just created a bit of an easy access or escape route, really, particularly with young people. We've had bikes stolen, some muggings of young people, and that path and kind of the lack of security has just added a really quick escape route that I think we just need to be wary of an increase in that. So I just wanted to clock that, really. We're going to try and do some detached work around the area, but particularly while I've got a police officer on, I just wanted to log that, really, and maybe think about, there's a real lack of lighting. It's a bit kind of out the way, so it kind of lends itself to that. But yeah, one of those things that's come with the positiveness of the path comes with some other challenges as well.
Sergeant, is it Jonathan Beach? Hi, we haven't met before. Could you come in on that? Is there anything that you
Yeah, I'm sorry. Good morning, afternoon, everyone. I'm sorry, there's some feedback on that. If you could just ask the question again.
Yeah, it's a cycle path on Bromford. It's been up and running for quite a while now, but there's been a few incidents, but we haven't been made aware of any incidents. I don't know if you're aware of any incidents on any reports of muggings or thefts.
Diane, just coming under that, I haven't had no report of any instance of buggers in that location.
I mean, I wouldn't be able to tell you whether they were officially reported to the police or not. I know one was on the black, I think is it called the Black Path?
Mm-hmm.
That runs just adjacent to that, and then obviously they've then kind of escaped off. I think the main bit is down by the bus stop by Newport Road. They kind of get access that end as a kind of quick. There was definitely two of our young people that attend were held at knife point down by Newport bus stop. Again, I would doubt it's ever been reported, but I think phone and a bike was taken, but definitely seen an increase of that kind of activity linked to that path.
So it's absolutely essential that we get these reports, because if we're not aware of it, you know, we really can't deploy officers to those locations. I understand there are reasons why some people don't want to report for a number of different reasons. I suppose I would encourage them to if they can. And I suppose even if they don't want to report, if you are able to give us some details, just so we can search our systems, just to confirm if there is actually a trend, whether we think that it's becoming a hotspot with the same suspects, or whether it's a one-off, that'd be really helpful to us. And I'm happy for you to email that through to myself and Sergeant Alan Keynes.
That's great, thank you.
Is it worth? Sorry, just a quick question. It'd be good to have your contact details if that was okay. Just in relation, because I think us at the hub, we've always tried to have that relationship with the police, and just wanting to kind of give you, if there's things that we're hearing, obviously we can let you know stuff, and there is a street watch as well that's trying to meet. Sorry, I know this is supposed to be Kevin's section, but we're really quite keen to get that street watch up and running again, but we really want to do it with PCSOs or police officers. So we really want to have that relationship with you guys. So yeah, if you have your contacts, that would be really good.
Yeah, we'll put them into the message part. And Councillor Donaldson, and apologies, Kevin, if we are getting in everyone's way here. It really would be good if I could have 5 or 10 minutes at some point just to do an introduction, just to give you a quick update for everyone around policing in the area.
Thank you. Regards the lighting, there is no lighting on the cycle path, as in the cycle paths across Shard End and Stetchford. There is no lighting. There's never been funding for lighting, and the funding came from the Environmental Agency, but it was for a bund which was made into a cycle path. But there is no provision for lighting, and I don't think there will be provision for lighting going forward, as it'd have to be going across the city in all the cycle paths if that were the case. But I mean, the biggest crimes that we're seeing committed on the cycle path that are being reported to us are fly tipping. So if you do hear of anything, please get the victims to report it if they want to report it in confidence to us, and we can relay it to the police. But please get them to report it so we can build up a picture of what's going on. Anything highways related? Any other issues while we have Kevin here?
Can I come in now, Chair?
Yeah.
My hand has been up for quite a while, but I've let the...
Yeah, I did invite you in, but I didn't think you...
I was being kind to everyone because everyone was under the impression it was a live in-person meeting, but it turned into an online meeting. There are just a couple of ongoing issues for Kevin. Glad you're back, Kevin. We have missed you, but we've still got a ton of work for you to go through. So the first one is Stetchford Road, the ponding issues, if we can have an update on that. The second one is Farnhurst Road. So as you come onto Farnhurst Road from Bromford Lane, there's heavy flooding whenever it rains, and the first house is affected. And he keeps telling me that he's reported. I've reported it for him as well now, and I've got Helen Hogan at Birmingham Council who works in flood risk management. If you could liaise with her as to what needs to be done, there's substantial piece of work that needs to be done there. And then outside 2224 Madison Avenue, Diane has reported this previously, and there was no response. I've done the same now because the residents come to me, and I've had an email to say that there was an inspection, but they haven't done the inspection just yet. But that is an issue that's been ongoing since the resurfacing of Madison Avenue. So I'm quite
aware
concerned
of the Madison Avenue one. I've seen that report come through. I don't know what the outcome of the inspection was just yet, but I've definitely seen that one.
The outcome was that there was nothing wrong with it.
Right. Okay.
But there is something wrong with it because it continues to flood. And the response I had that the tarmac's too good, it's not permeable enough.
Yeah, but the point is, Kevin,
that's not
the residents in both properties are getting a considerable amount of ponding, and I've got videos and photographs of it. So when the car goes, if someone's walking past, they get completely drenched.
Yeah.
So there is an issue because the issue wasn't there before it was resurfaced. That does need looking. I don't even think it's a major fix. It just needs a bit of rerouting.
Yeah,
that
just
would
needs
sort
a
itself
reprofile.
out.
When was that resurfacing undertaken?
I think it was 2019, 2020, around there, a couple of years back.
Okay.
And then the other one is Chipperfield Road. Whenever it rains, it floods again towards the top end as you come off from Cllr Road. That still happens when there's torrential rain. So that does need looking at again, see if we can do some long-term work with that. Hodge, your comment you mentioned when I was trying to get the links all through to the residents, where we had the work done on Bromford Road, that was last year, 2022, just after May in the elections, and that's been there. That triangle part has been there like that for it. But I was told it was going to get resolved last winter. It didn't happen. Then I was told it will get done this winter because of the season for seeding. But I think you're on top of that. You've mentioned there's another issue. Yeah, another issue we've just had recently. We've had an influx of takeaways and tea shops and cafes on Cllr Road between the Fox and Goose to Tesco entrance, and all the new shops now. And I've had Nadeem involved as well. They put their large trade bins onto the highway, although it's not obstructing pedestrians as they walk. They're still there, so it can lead to an accident. And it also attracts fly tipping as well.
Yeah.
So I think it's a combined effort between the waste teams, yourself as highways, Nadeem as a neighbourhood action coordinator, and us as councillors to get that resolved, because they're supposed to have the trade bins inside on their property, not on highway. They only should put them out the night before the collection, similar to households where we've got a duty of care under the Environment Act. We should only put our bins out the night before. So I do need some action there. I have tried to get people together to get this resolved, because the difficulty we've got when the Environment Act comes in is implemented for businesses, they're going to have separate trade bins for recycling. So the number of trade bins are going to double. If we've already got a problem now on the highway with the current ones that are there when they shouldn't be there, then it's just going to get worse because people get used to it. They think it's fine to crack on. The other one we've got, Kevin, it's quite serious actually, because I did notify planning, but they've asked me to fill in the planning complaint form, which to be honest is a task in itself when we report matters, but it's also highway related because the householders have damaged the entire footpath. So it's on Cllr Road, the entrance towards Stetchford Hall Park. You've got two properties on either side. The right-hand side property, he's demolished the property and he's rebuilt it again, but he's also taken up all the trees and the grass verge that was on the pavement, and he's basically taken it all apart completely, and he has put in a brand new pavement, but it seems to be just a parking space for himself. That was public, that was trees. I'll try to get the pictures of the resident that lives, well, a resident that lives nearby, say, but he doesn't want to be involved in the complaint. Because obviously, they live quite close together, but I can get the photos of him. But it's pretty serious, and I think we need to send a strong message, because if we allow this to happen, then it sends a message to everyone that they can just basically deal with our green assets as they please. So I'll send you the information on that. I really think that needs dealing with. And the final one is grip bins, just an assurance that they are going to be filled again with the grip, because we did pay for it a few years back under the community chest scheme. People are asking. Thank you.
Not a problem. I'll take all those away and I'll get you the answers for those.
Okay, Kevin, I've got another one for you as well. It's it is an ongoing complaint. It's Bromford Road, opposite the school. One of the residents had, when you did the pavements, the tarmac pavements, his border, they didn't complete the border, and then they said they were going to come back and do it, and they didn't.
What house number is that? Do we know the house number?
215 off the top of my head.
215.
Yeah. But somebody has been out, and then they reported back that they got abused, but that's not the case. I think they're mistaken, because it's an elderly gentleman, and he's very placid, he's very nice. I'm sure they got mixed up somewhere. So that does need to be reinstalled, because he was promised that.
Yeah, I'll look into that one as well.
Okay, thank you. All right, anything, any highways, pavements, anything, street lights? No. Okay, Kevin, I think that's it for now. I don't see any further
Perfect, great stuff.
Any further inquiries. All right, thank you. And thanks
I'll
for
leave you all
coming.
to it. Have a nice evening. Thank you, everybody.
Great to see you back again, and I'll
Thank
see
you.
you on. I'll get some dates over to you for a walkabout.
Perfect, great stuff. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank
Take
you.
care.
Thanks,
Bye.
Kev.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Right, thank you. And now Mike is here. Mike Hinton, Parks Manager. He was going to do a presentation. It was going to, when we unfortunately couldn't do our live event today, but Mike will just give us an update around his work on parks and you know, some of the interesting stuff that he does. Mike, would you? I'll hand over
Thank
to
you,
you now.
Councillor.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
good afternoon, everybody. I'm sorry not to be there today, but what I was aiming to do, I've done a presentation on what is called managing the urban environment, which is everything around us, and it gives you an insight into our day-to-day job in looking after parks, public open spaces, schools, cemeteries, that sort of thing, and it shows you some of the challenges that we're up against. You know, anything from should we say fly tipping, pest control, that sort of thing, and some of the good things that we get involved with. And we've just heard about one, which was the flood defences at Bromford. I've also been involved, and still am, with flood defences over at Cannon Hill and Pebble Mill, and it really gives you an insight into how we work with other partners to bring together what is an overall view to improve the urban environment. But if you'd like to see the presentation, I'm quite happy to bring it to the centre next time and show it to you, and you know, then you can ask some questions. I don't know whether you've got any questions anyway on park issues at the moment. So
I've got a couple of park issues, Mike, before we go on. I've noticed on Chillingham Road, now that the leaves have fallen off the trees, the fly tipping in the trees is becoming apparent, which during the summer you probably couldn't see it because of the leaves, but now with the leaf fall.
Okay, that's fine. I'll have a look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, street connectors. Joe and then Paul. Yeah, or Paul.
You go.
Okay.
Hello, Mike. It's lovely to meet you.
Hello there.
So I regularly am walking this path that we have in Bromford. You'll have to bear with me because I'm trying to work out, are you connected to the council?
Yes.
Right, okay, here we go then. So last time on the last ward meeting, I was told to report any fly tipping, which I'm doing on a regular basis. I walk on this path every day.
Right.
Now, I followed the rules. I found a load of rubbish that had been floated. I followed the rules. Now, I did have a response with a reference number, but I reported it on the 31st of October. The vacuum is now travelling around the park because people are picking the vacuum up. It's like a small Henry affair, and it keeps going everywhere. So it says on here that basically, thanks for your fly tipping report, and they're going to aim to respond in 10 days. But no, it's just like there's rubbish everywhere. So when I report something, I'm doing this, Mike, for my mental health.
Right.
So I'm autistic and I want to know how long will it take for someone to come and pick it up, because I'm literally going to get the vacuum and stick it in my own bin because it's been over a month.
Okay.
So if someone can give me an idea of when there's also poo bins, I keep having to dodge poo all over the path. And it's not a very great mindfulness walk. Come and walk it with me if you want.
Okay. I would like to think if it came directly to me, we could respond a little bit quicker. When you put it, I presume it goes into waste management, does it?
I was
Where
told
they recommend 10 days?
I was told, because they asked at the last meeting, because I've been sending it to Diane, and obviously she's got heaps to do. So I've sent it to the Brum account.
Did you do it on Fix My Street, Joe, as well?
No, because someone said don't do Fix My Street, go to Brum account. I'm getting very confused and I'm not really enjoying it because I'm doing these walks for my mental health.
Would you like to send it directly to me, please?
Yeah, fine. I'll send all the pictures I've got. You want the poo pictures? I've got tons of poo pictures because I'm not going to say who. I'm talking to someone else that was promised to come and walk the path with me, because I'm going to be doing a project in my community where I'm going to grow flowers, connect people, the whole of the community, and I want to put them in the parks as well. But I want to, it's a whole thing, the path, the poo, the rubbish. I want to make it brighter and blooming. I'm just one person who can connect, as I'm a street connector and the community guide for mental health. I want our community to be more blooming and brighter, not full of rubbish and dog poo.
Okay. I have to say I haven't seen those inquiries, so I can't really say why it hasn't been done. But if you'd like to send it to me, I'll see if I can push it through quicker.
Do you want all of them when I see them? Because it's happening every day. What do you want me to send? All of it?
Well, how much is there?
There's quite a few pictures. New things are appearing every day. And, well, I don't think we can do much about the dog poo. Except for there's no poo bins. They're now putting the black poo bins, black poo bags by the bins. I've took photos of. It's great. There's bins by the park. But when I walk this path, as a person who's got an orthopedic knee brace, basically there are no benches and no poo bins. And it's 1.5 miles to the end and 1.5 miles back. 3 miles.
Well, in terms of bins, we have what we call dual use bins. We don't have separate dog bins. So if you put it into the normal bin, which is a dual use, then it will get collected when the bins are emptied.
And what's the score if, as an individual, I do a campaign to raise money in conjunction with the council to do it in the correct way to get bins? Can I do that? Because I'm quite serious about this.
I mean, we've just installed along that area another 5 bins at the request of Councillor Mahmood.
I don't think so. I don't mean to be rude, Mike. Where are the bins then? I walk this path every day.
Okay, there was one put by the shopping centre. There was one down by the is it the Severn Trent? And up by Chester Road.
Oh,
And-
okay, so I understand this. What I'm talking about, so I can be respectful and see you're talking about the whole of Birmingham.
No.
No,
No.
it's not.
Bromford.
Bromford.
So I think I've definitely noticed there's a new one by the shops.
Yeah.
Not sure the Severn Trent bit that you're talking about. Where specifically is that, Mike?
Well, you know the building.
That's where you have the events in the summer, further down where the pumping station is.
Yeah.
So I've not noticed
I've
anything
never
there.
been there.
But on
Are they the wire type bins?
No, they were the proper bins.
Right.
And there was certainly some. Well, I'll have to check because if you're saying they're not there, I need to know why.
I've took photos of all the bins because it's part of a project they're embracing, right? And as you go up the bit by the old neighbourhood watch office, I believe there's one there where all of the grass is flooding, where the park was going to be planted, where I intercepted rubbish guys to remove a settee. I don't mind and understand that there's a lot going on in the council, but as I'm doing this to help my health, because of being autistic, if you tell me how long it will take or the correct procedures, then in my mind I can think, okay, this vacuum, I may as well just pick it up myself and carry it and shove it in my bin or take it to the tip.
Whereabouts is the vacuum at the moment?
I've got photos. I took pictures today.
Where is it?
It's in the park and it's by where the swings and the slides are. It's now there where there used to be the big, huge log that blocks where people were trying to get into the park. I can send you a photo. I took a picture of it today.
I'll see what I can do. I'll ask somebody to come down. Okay.
So can you put your the address up on the screen so I can visually see it?
Email.
The email to contact you where you want me to send.
Oh, right. Okay. All right.
I can put it into the chat, Mike.
Okay. Thank you, Councillor.
Thank you.
Mike, where are the other two bins? I've got to 3. So number 3 was on the Chester
Road. Yeah, there was
Road.
another 2 put down by Bromford Lane and a bit further along. But there was 5 put in, and if they're not there, I will chase up. But I'll have to look myself. But I'm under the impression that I definitely organised 5 bins to go in down there.
I think there's definitely one at Bromford Road end, and there's one.
Yeah.
There's one behind.
There's one a bit further along, just by the play area. Then there was one down by the Severn Trent place. Yeah.
And one on the Chester Road. Sorry, and the other 2. I didn't catch that. Sorry, I was typing. Number 4 was where, Mike? Sorry, could you just repeat that?
I'm trying to plan it out in my mind there.
I was typing.
I marked it on a plan once. There was Bromford Lane, then there was one a bit further by the play area. Then there was one a bit further along, just set back beyond the buildings. Then there was one down by the Severn Trent, one up by the Chester Road.
Yeah, okay, I've got them.
But if you can, it's the one by the Severn Trent that's I don't remember seeing it, but
right,
I missed it. But we can check that.
All right, if you can, if it's not there, I'll chase it up. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Okay.
Jen,
right.
I'll move over to Jenny now. She's had her hand up for a while. Hi, Jenny.
Thank you. Hi. Speaking on behalf of Friends of Hodge Hill Common, and it's I'm afraid it's bins again really, but we're a new group and we've been looking after doing our best to keep the common tidier and dealing with a lot of the litter, with regular litter picking and so on. But currently there is no bin anywhere on the common. There was a dog waste bin, and we understand that that's no longer the system. But when the former car park area that's been closed for a long time. When that was cleared and the tarmac removed and some soil dumped on it, and now the weeds are growing all over it. That's another issue. But when all that happened, they took away the dog bin that was there, and there's been no new bin replacing it. So what we get is piles of dog poo bags left where the bin used to be, and meanwhile there's plenty of other litter around, especially near the benches that are there. So what we'd love to do, and we're happy to raise money to put a bin in if necessary, but as there was one there before, where the dog bin one got taken away and nothing's come back, and we were wondering, we raised this at our last meeting, and we're wondering whether if we raise money for new bins, would they be part of the collection schedule? Because obviously there's a cost issue in terms of having them regularly connected. So we understand it might not be possible to put lots of new bins in if that's adding extra financial pressure, but we're wondering if we can at least have a replacement for the one that was taken away, so that we can have somewhere for rubbish to go on the common.
Okay, I see Majid's got his hand up on this one as well. So do you want to come in, Majid, or Mike, do you want to take this?
Okay, yeah. It's ironic that I was talking to James Carlos about an hour and a half ago, and he was explaining all about this, and we said that we'll work with him and try and sort it out for you.
Brilliant. And what sort it out in what sort of way? Did you come to anything?
Well, to install bins, and then arrange for them to be emptied as well.
Excellent news. Thank you very much.
All right, but I only found out about an hour and a half ago.
Is that it's just that the one bin, Mike, or will there be?
We'll have a look at it and see how much money we can get, and we'll take it from there. All right.
Excellent. Thank you. That's good.
No problem. Okay.
Majid, you've got your hand up. Did you want to say something on this, or is it a legacy hand?
No, it's not a legacy hand. I didn't want to. No, first and foremost, thank you to Jenny. She's done an incredible amount of work around the Hodge Common with the Friends group, fully engaged with lots of residents from in and around Hodge Common who prides that engaged in terms of helping and supporting the common. And I know with Jenny's work and push from Irfan as well, who's done a lot of work at the Friends group, we've managed to convince Birmingham tree people to use Hodge Common to plant some new trees. I think December the 2nd, there'll be some new trees planted in the commons. That's great news. It's just from a city point of view, it's just Bromford and Hodge Ward, Neachor's Wood in Newtown that have been selected this year for the planting. So I think there's about 100 trees and they've all been paid for and they'll be delivered in December, which is great news. So thank you, Jenny, for the work. And I apologise I couldn't come to the event on Saturday. Had another funeral. I've had 6 now in the last.
Oh goodness! Well, it was well attended, and
yeah, it was. I saw the photographs, but I was at a funeral.
It's good having the partnership with Birmingham Tree People and the I forget what it is, the Future Parks Accelerator.
Future Park scheme.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's all good, and I know that they're working with other parts of the ward as well to put more trees in. I know Paul and Kath and others have been meeting with Katie about that, so that's all good. Bringing new trees and more coverage into the area is great.
Yeah, it's all good. So on the bin that was on the former car park, that was removed because it was never emptied, unfortunately. So we removed because it was just full. So we took it, and then the plan was, because we did allocate some funding many months ago for the community chest at this ward, but because of the financial situation of the council, we're still trying to work out what's going to happen. But yeah, if you do raise funds for bins, and if we can find any pockets of money that we have, I have asked officers to do a sweep up of any money that they can find, basically looking for the pennies, hopefully the pounds in the sofas around the council house, and see if we can do something with some bins around the common and other places across the ward and the city going forward. But the other thing, the question I had, Mike, was around Stetchford Hall Park, because we've got that money from the old Beaufort Sports Club, which is ring fence for Stetchford Hall Park, and obviously you're aware of the environment, well, the situation of the ground there. Has that ground assessment work report been undertaken? If it has, then when are we likely to expect the results from that? And that just for everyone else's benefit, we've got a tranche of money. It's about £160,000, Section 106 money from the old Bromford Sports Social Club, which is ring fenced to be used at Stretford Hall Park. So we've got some plans for like a football pitch and some other works in the park. But because it used to be an old landfill site going back many years, there's a risk of, is it methane gas being released if it's built?
It is.
Yeah, so we wait for a report to be undertaken. So Mike, could you just like help us with that, see if there's any progress on that, please?
I will, Councillor. Yeah, I'll follow up on that because that was done. Well, I thought it was done quite a while ago, so I'll follow it up and see what's happening. Okay. If it
becomes apparent, yeah, because we need to know the details of that, because that the houses are more or less built on that site, which means they'll be ready to release the funds to us as well to use.
Okay, that's fine.
Forward. Okay,
No
and then
problem.
Mike, I don't think you'll know about this, but it's housing land, it's not parks land. But have you got any indication as to the former Warstone Tower site and the site of, sandwich between Ridfield Road and Berrendale Road around the landscaping works to that?
No, I'm not aware of that at the moment, Councillor.
Okay, not a problem. Well, what we'll do, Chair, is we'll invite someone from Housing Regeneration team to an next ward forum to get an update across the regeneration that we had around the Bromford.
Yeah. I think.
Thanks, Mike.
No problem. Thank you, Councillor.
We've got another meeting in December. Shall we have it in December or leave it till the January one?
Do December, be good.
Okay, I've got the pencil down for December. Right, our street connectors.
Thanks, Diane. It's me, just off camera.
Hi, Paul.
No, I'm there.
I forgot about you. You're off screen. I didn't see you. Totally forgot about you.
I imagine it's just kind of asked the question. I think there was two questions really around that Warstone Tower space and then the space directly behind it, which I'm 99% sure that piece of land is parks land, and then the bit that was Warstone is housing land. And it might be that there's no update, but there's the landscaping stuff. So the path doesn't go anywhere. So the new path and where the bin is, there is no connection to Bromford Drive or the shops. It just looks an absolute mess over there. It also, I mean, it's ironic. It's a flood bund. It floods. The water pool. I know it's different. It's different flooding, but the water pools there. Yeah. So on a rainy day, but not even just a rainy day, it's boggy and it pools of water. And then the other issue you've got is that people have naturally walked in a path where Warstone Tower used to be to get to the school and the shops, and that also pools of water. It's very boggy now. So I mean, there's the whole plan to build a park there, which I'm not sure there's going to be any update. And if there's an update, that'd be good to know, because that was promised to be delivered before the end of March next year, and delayed. So it was supposed to be promised last year. It was been in the pipeline for many years. A lot of work's gone into working with the community to design that park. Plans have come out, but we've not heard anything. So is there an update on whether that's even going to happen now? And then as a fallback, like, how is that path going to be connected and to deal with these issues of that piece of land? And then, sorry, the last question is, I mean, I'm surprised it's not already become a fly tipping zone, but I think it's only a matter of time that becomes a real fly tipping hotspot, because, I mean, people are literally driving onto that piece of land. I mean, lazy people are parking next to a one-stop shop. They're just driving onto that piece of land. And then there is also a gap in the fence, in the lower level fence, which I think is historically back to HS2, who had access to that piece of land and never replaced the gap. It's a way that someone could literally drive onto the path. Again, I'm very surprised that we've not had travellers and we've not had people driving onto the path, and we've not had fly tipping. But I just think it's probably a matter of time. So there's a lot in what I've just said, but mainly.
Can I just put you on hold there, Paul, for a moment? I've got, Inspector Beaches has to leave at 4 p.m. So before he goes, can I take any questions for Inspector Beach, and then I'll come back to you, Paul?
Yeah, no, totally.
Yeah. So if anybody has anything that they would like to comment on or ask Inspector Beach, please say now. Joe, yeah.
Hello, what's his name? Jonathan, hello. So we have a WhatsApp group, 4 of us that are sat here today. Oh no, 3. Claire, yeah, she's part of our road really. But so we live in Doncaster Way, and there's been some residents who are concerned about something that's happening at the end of the road. They think that there's like a car business, and sorry, I'll read. There was a car, and what's happening is that people are now looking up on Google, and some of these cars, I think they're running a business from the house selling cars, and there's always cars being left around, and they've got no tax, no insurance. And some of the people the other day, there keeps being this van parked outside my house, which fair enough you can do, but it's causing a bit of chaos. And I think some people in the group, I think you'd agree, think some dodgy stuff might be happening.
Thanks, Joe. Can I just add to that, Inspector Beach? We've got about 3 or 4 sites across the ward where people are running from home car businesses, and they're parking vehicles outside their own homes and other places in the streets. It's causing significant issues, and then people are coming at all times of day looking at these cars. So if I forward you the roads that are involved, and I've got the house numbers as well, is that something you'd be able to look into? And there's also vehicles that are parked up that are not taxed, not MOT'd, etc.
Yeah, but please do send them straight through to me. I suppose if I can just provide a generalised response to you on this. Parking is a significant issue across all the wards in Birmingham. It has been since I started in the police in 2005 in Shard End. It still is now. I get the feedback I'm getting is a lot of the time the police will say it's a council job. A lot of the time the council will say it's a police job, and then if we go onto our websites, they then contradict what else has been said already. I think what I'm looking to do working with the council is to come up with a definitive list of what it is we can do, when we can do it, and how we're going to do it. Once we've done that, we've then got to say, well, what we can commit to. I'm not going to give the speech around lack of resources, calls for service, because I think quite simply the residents aren't interested in the excuses. It's the action that you want to happen. So for me, when I would get a call around a business selling cars, untaxed vehicles, vehicles without MOTs, vehicles causing obstructions, I would want to be able to say to you exactly what the response is that you are going to get. And at the moment, that's something that I can't do. I can't guarantee you what we're going to do. I can't guarantee what the council will do. However, my short-term action for myself very much is to understand what it is that we can do and who is the right people to do it. And with that, I think we've got to have a quick turnaround as well. So where there are issues reporting, we'd like to have a 7-day turnaround. And even if we don't resolve the issue, we'd like to get back to you within a good amount of time. And again, it is around managing expectations. I can't guarantee that we will resolve everything, but I think communication is the key as well. I think people do just get fed up when they don't hear back of what is happening, because there is so much good work that Birmingham City Council and the police are doing. We just do not advertise it to anyone. We don't let people know what it is that we're actually doing. So please do, councillor, email across those specific locations. We will have a look. We will then respond to you to say what it is we can do, which parts we can do nothing about. However, I would then look at liaising with our partners, confirm what it is that the partners can also do or can't do.
Thank you, Jonathan. The council, as far as enforcing parking, can only enforce on double yellow lines. We can't enforce on pavement parking or grass verge parking. But where there are, we might have some powers around these operators that are running businesses, car sales businesses from home. So if I've got evidence, I can pass that on to licensing.
That's absolutely it. Where it starts as a parking issue, it may actually be licensing or another form of legislation
exactly,
that we actually do look at, and obviously working with DVLA around the tax and MOT and insurance committee.
So Diane, just for my brain, because I saw a legal car being sold outside my house, woke up in the night, police car was there, it was all going on, and they took away some cars which I think they were cutting in half. So do you want a photo of the car, the registration number?
Information you've got, Joe, just WhatsApp it over to me.
Discreet way, so that in a safe way.
I'll relay it. Yeah, do it in a discreet way. Don't do.
See a lot out of my bedroom window.
No. And then I can send that over to Inspector Beach and Sergeant Keynes.
Oh, okay, I'll do that.
Okay, thank you.
Diane, can I just ask you a quick question to just about Street Watch and having PCSOs with us doing Street Watch? Have we got PCSOs? Because I think there was a gap in the PCO team, and actually, you know, a commitment, because there's a few of us that want to go out doing Street Watch, but we won't go out without a PCSO. I know you can, but for us it was about getting in the community with the police alongside PCSOs. That was our reason for doing it. So there's a few of us that are kind of sitting back and want to do it, but we just need that commitment from the police if they can do it. Yeah, so to let you know what's happening with the PCSOs, you're aware that there was a national police officer uplift which ended back in March this year, where the government had increased numbers by 20,000. So getting us back to where we were in the days of 2010, before the financial crisis. As part of that, there was guaranteed money for each force. Some forces weren't able to make their uplift. So West Midlands Police was actually given additional uplift. And we were the first to trial an internal recruitment process where PCSOs, special constables and police staff were able to apply for the police officer roles. So what you had was, I don't know the statistics, but a lot of PCSOs and special constables kind of overnight then became police officers. The good news there is that you have more police officers responding to calls for service. Unfortunately, took away a number of PCSOs. So we are recruiting for PCSOs at the moment. That is happening. It's just, it takes a time to go through that entire process to the point where they're trained and ready to go out on the street. So for our area, the Hodge Hill constituency includes Bordsley, Washwood, Shard End as well. We should have 9 PCSOs and we now have 1. So that is where we are at. However, the Chief Constable has committed to maintaining those numbers, so we will get the PCSOs back. So in direct answer to your question around Street Watch, at the moment we wouldn't have available PCSOs to support you, but we can do it with police officers. There's no reason why we couldn't. Because we are coming into the Christmas period with a lot of business around the German market, nighttime economy, a lot of our resources are being pulled across Birmingham, and it's very difficult for me to commit this side of Christmas. There is a massive however there though, that come January, I'm hoping that we're going to very much get back to business as usual for neighbourhood. So whilst it won't be the same numbers that we've been fortunate to have in the past, what we are looking at is ring fencing a number of officers on a daily basis for neighbourhood, because what I don't want to do is make a promise to you and not deliver on it. So I want to be able to say that if you want to do Street Watch, we will commit to that, and here are the dates we can do it, and ring fence those staff. And obviously once the PCSOs come back again, they would take over that. So if I could just ask that be patient with me, I'm sorry about that, but hopefully come January,
both the street watch plus speed watch as well. We'd like to get back up and going.
Thank you. That's really helpful.
Thank
That
you.
makes sense
Yeah,
about the
thank you.
PCSOs, why there's so many that moved on as well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, we lost all the good PCSOs. Yeah.
They all became cops, and they're going to be great
Yeah,
cops.
they did. But yeah, that's reassuring that in the new year we'll see some movement and have the speed watch as well, which is very important. We do need the speed watch. We committed to doing that, and it hasn't materialised, so we really need to get that up and running as well. Okay, thank you. Thanks, Inspector Beach. It's 2 minutes past 4.
Yeah, if there's outstanding questions, I'm happy to answer them. I know that Councillor Mahmood had a hand up.
Yeah, thanks, Jonathan. Just quickly, I think the quicker we bring back the road tax, the better, because there's that many cars now which aren't taxed around the city, not just in our ward. I'm always constantly logging on to the DVLA website, but they don't seem to move for at least 2 months before they actually pick them up, which is a shame. But I'm pleased that you're working with the City Council to come up with an action plan. If that's something that you can take up, Chair, at the community safety meetings that you attend, they always tend to clash with cabinet, so I'm unable to attend. The other thing I want to flag up with you, Jonathan, was again the antisocial behaviour and the drug dealing that's still happening in broad daylight on Brockers Road towards the junction with Bromford Lane. It tends to happen where the electricity substation is on the green area near to the sheltered accommodation, and we get lots of reports from the residents, and we always encourage them to also report them to the police as well. But there does need to be some police presence around there in order to deter the people who engage in criminal activities. And it's really harmful to children as well, because that road is used by the children that go to and from the 4-school campus on Bromford Road, the 4 schools. And the other thing I want to flag was around First Primary. We've got issues around inconsiderate parking at school times. And I do think there needs to be some engagement with the school, the council, plus yourselves as the police, as the prosecuting authority, again, to try to deter the bad parking that is happening there as well. Other than that, just like to thank you, Jonathan, and the team. Given the limited resources that you do have, you are doing an incredible job in and around Bromford and Hodge. So thank you for that.
Thank you for your comments. So one of the things that I want to look at is around sustainability. So I mentioned that I was a PC at Shard End in 2005 when I first joined. It feels that we're talking about some very similar issues that we were talking about 18 years ago. I don't believe that that there are long-term solutions to all of them. I believe what we can do is minimise the risk to potentially acceptable levels, but keep working together, keep working with partners to reduce that risk as much as possible. But what I do want is sustainability. As I know over the years, there's been some fantastic sergeants, some fantastic PCs, some fantastic PCSOs who have all run lots of great operations around ASB, around drugs, around parking. But every time they move on, their ideas move on with them, or every time we have a shortage of resources, we then struggle to commit. What I want to look at is how we can commit at all times with a skeleton crew. So, for example, where you've got the parking issues at the school, then there's parking to be dealt with. There's potential speed watch you could do nearby. You could even have street watch working at the same time. Plus, we could be looking at the drug dealing. Rather than looking at each thing in isolation, even where the issues may not even be connected, if we're in an area for one thing, why don't we do a multitude of things? And I know that Sergeant Keynes will support me that whenever he goes out with his officers, if they do see abandoned vehicles, bad parking, he will encourage them to ensure that they put a ticket on there and not just walk past and ignore it as they go into another job. Now when it's an immediate response, obviously there are times you can't do that. But the idea would be that we can say to our cops, you can be in this area for a couple of hours and deal with whatever is in front of you. And there's 3 or 4 different kind of roles they could play at a time there. So yeah, I absolutely think that we can go down and look at parking. I mean, parking's an issue near every school. We're never going to be able to get around every school all the time, but hey, let's combine that with drug dealing. Let's combine that with ASB, with road safety. And then I'm hoping that we can get more of a commitment to ring fence those neighbourhood officers who will then be able to prove the significant amount of work that they actually do.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan. Yeah, and that's a fantastic idea, having the combined street watch, speed watch and patrols. Yeah, that's something that if we can get something in the diary for next year, that would be really helpful.
Absolutely.
So we can start to tackle these issues.
Because we've done it before, haven't we? We've had really good engagement before. We've had lots of great ideas. So we're not reinventing the wheel, but we're looking at what worked before and what's the best way we can do all of it with what the minimum number of staff that we know we're going to have.
Thank you. Anyone else like to add anything before Inspector Beach leaves? No. Okay. Well, thanks, Jonathan, and thanks to Alan as well. And I'll be in touch, and if we can sort of liaise, get some times in the diary, we can set something up for next year.
Perfect. Thank you, councillors, and thank you everyone else that's attended.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Bye. Right. So, Paul, thank you for bearing with us. You still there? You still there? Okay. I see a thumb. Right. So it's about. Sorry, well, about the park. We haven't had an update as yet from Ron's, the replacement for Ron. So that's something we can look into and see where we're at on that. So I haven't heard anything as yet. Maggie, I don't know if you've had any updates. I certainly haven't heard anything about the Pocket Park.
No, not yet. That's why I suggest that we invite the officers to the next ward forum meeting. There's lots happening in the council, clearly, and with the commissioners coming in, just from my perspective as a cabinet member, the main priority is to get the budget onto a sound financial footing. So everything else hasn't been left, but the priority is to get the council onto a sound financial footing. But anything that is ring fenced will be dealt with at some point going forward. So it'll be good to get the timeline in. And as I think Paul mentioned, it's been ongoing for a considerable length of time.
Right, so we'll get a regeneration update in the diary for December, Paul, and then we'll come back to you on that one.
Chair, I think I was just thinking it might be better for January because we're dealing with
it is.
So January is probably much better. We'll have more information.
We'll have more information. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty tight now for December. Right, so I'll get that. I've got all the new dates. So the ward forums going forward, they will be online. It's difficult to get locations and around the ward. So we'll be doing our meetings online in the new year, and they'll be during the daytime. We can get a better officer presence during the daytime, attendance from officers. So and from the police as well, it seems to work better for them, and highways, everybody else. So they'll either be morning or afternoon meetings, but we'll have monthly meetings going forward. Just had some inquiries about the retrofit. The retrofit is well, as you've probably seen, it's going ahead well. The scaffolding up around the firs around Bromford. Some people have asked why their buildings haven't been included, and it's just to say that the retrofit was for 300 properties. It's a pilot scheme. So if anyone asks, it is a pilot scheme for 300 properties, not only in Bromford and Firs, but also in parts of Yardley Ward. There's a ward in Yardley where they're part of this pilot programme as well. So once the pilot programme is finished, this will be something, hopefully, that will be rolled out across Birmingham. But the reason certain blocks weren't included is because they took the blocks that had the most need, basically, and blocks that didn't have private owners in them, because that is another issue that I have to tackle, how to work with the private owners, because otherwise it's going to look odd if one of the private owners doesn't take up. You've got 6 flats and maybe 2 private owners, and the council tenants have their properties retrofitted and the privates don't, then it's not going to work very well. So that's something they're going to work on. They're going to get all the feedback from the actual pilot scheme, and then feedback, and then look at ways of working with private ownership. So if that makes sense. So if you come across anybody who's querying that, if you can relay that to them. But hopefully the money isn't from Birmingham City Council. It's come from the government, so it's for a much bigger scheme, and it will be rolled out across Birmingham. Any questions on that? No? Okay, thank you. Madge, is anything that you want to update on?
No, we've covered most of the items that we had information on. It's just again about the budget that we're going through the process, and it's going to be quite challenging going forward, given the amount of money that we need to find. It's about $250 million, I think, once everything is said and done, that we need to find for next year and the year after. But we'll hold a ward forum around that anyway in January. Perhaps is the best time to do both the regeneration and the budget going forward.
Fine. Any other business? I've got Joe. Joe, yes. Yeah.
I'm going to start this project I'm going to do, because I've got my graduation this Saturday. So one of my questions is to bless people, not only in the communal spaces. Can you tell me, are people that live in the tower blocks allowed flowers in a pot on their balcony? Because this is one of the ideas that I thought would be nice, to go to the blocks, because times are hard. And when we grow the seeds and the flowers, as street connectors or as an individual neighbour, to go to the flats or any kind of masonette, or I've even chatted in a communal garden. Any answers on that? So I'm not doing the wrong thing and I'm doing the right thing.
You, but as far as I know, Joe, it's fine to grow flowers on balconies. I've never heard anyone.
Someone said something about they've got special perspex because of the pigeons flying into the windows. No.
No, but I'll find out for you on that one. But I don't think there's any issues growing flowers on balconies. When I lived in a flat, we grew flowers on balconies, on our balcony.
I know moving forward, Diane, there's going to be some, like, with all the retrofits and the doing up of the tower blocks. Say if there was a masonette area and it had a communal garden, I just wondered, when they're having these retrofit stuff done, the communal gardens, will they be done up? Because one of my ideas was maybe not to just hit the obvious hub and the park and like the church house spaces and Ambridge House, was but to help with other people in their flats, in their masonette communal gardens, to make their spaces look nice. But I don't want to step on anyone's toes.
Okay. Well, what I'll do, Joe, at the next meeting in January, I'll get the retrofit people there, and then you can put all these questions to them, so we can get it, directly from them, and they can explain what work they're doing in the communal areas. I know that the balconies will be enclosed, but I'm sure you can still grow flowers in an enclosed area, depending on what flowers you grow, obviously. But we can get you can ask these questions directly to them, then it's there then. It's
all right,
it's
smashing.
recorded, so we've got the answers, the definite answers. Okay.
Don't leave them out.
Thank you. Anything else from anyone?
Diane,
Hi, Paul. Yeah.
so
I didn't know if you were saying bye or.
sorry, no.
It's okay.
So just in relation to the retrofitting of Jordan House, we did hear that the council have now committed budget to refurbish all of the blocks. I think one a year, hopefully one a year over the next however many years.
From what I believe, I'm not 100%, but I think it's going to be King Peace and Hollow Meadow.
Oh.
So
from
just
what
those
I've
two.
heard. Well, it'll be the others will follow, but the next ones, the ones that are in most need are King Peace and Hollow Meadow.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. So I think there's a couple of things. So one, and I know this will be budgets, and as Majid said, we all understand the pressure the council are on. I think the major concern is obviously sounds as if you're gonna pick one first and then do the other one afterwards. I think so that I don't think both of them are going to get done at the same time.
No, they won't be done at the same. Otherwise, it would just be too chaotic to have that massive. It's chaotic enough just having one on Jordan House. So they'll be working block by block. But what they have said, they'll be working a lot faster because now they've hit all the snags. They know how to work. They've got a process in place, and you know, next block will be much faster. So hopefully, it'll be a year turnaround instead of what it's been nearly 2 years or whatever it is. And and we won't have this. It'll be equans, whereas before we had weights. And then we had to move over to equans, which caused a big gap in between. So it'll be a lot faster.
Yeah, no, I think I appreciate that, and I think we'd heard that is also the case. I guess there's a real issue though. I think whoever gets picked second is, whatever happens, is going to be waiting. Well, they haven't finished Jordan yet, so it's going to be at least another 2 winters, so this winter and the next winter. The conditions that they are living in are so bad. I mean, we are talking about people that can't heat their homes.
I understand.
I guess my question is there anything the council can do in the short term?
I have thought about this, and I'm going to put it to the council. Is there a possibility of moving people out from the worst affected properties, maybe into Jordan for the new properties?
I mean, I think the issue, from what we've heard, is the idea is to move people from Hollow Meadow into Jordan and then fix up Hollow Meadow and then move people from King's Peace. And so I get that as an idea. I guess I know these things are way more complicated than common sense, but the windows are a major priority. So, I mean, we are talking about people who have got drafts and issues. Is there any way that some of the work as part of the retrofitting can be done on both flats at the same time? Just because I know these things are issues about budgets and stuff like that, but these people have been waiting for such a long time, and we know whichever flat you choose first, there's issues in the other flat. We know more people in King's Peace, and there's people that have been fighting for this that are hearing that they're going to be second, but they're going to be living in such awful conditions for 2 more winters. Now, I know good news is coming eventually, but that's 2 winters that these people are going to be living in, such bad conditions. There must be something the council can do. You don't want to spend money that then you're going to lose because it's getting retrofitted, but it's just looking at the scheme of work and saying, is there anything that can happen in the short term on both blocks to eradicate some of the issues around damp, mold, drafts? Because it is so bad in there. And the other issue is, you're hearing things in the news at the moment. Something quite severe is going to happen in one of those blocks. The levels of mold and damp that people are living in. Something severe could happen between now and the next 2-3 years. So, yeah, just a real plea to say, look, if there's anything that can happen, I know you're not going to have to do both blocks at the same time. It's not going to work. But if something can happen, because these people are living in such dire situation. And then the second point I'd like to make is, can you guys organise? We're happy to help some sort of engagement event with those residents, because they've not been communicated with about any of this. So some sort of engagement with those guys, whether something at Ambridge House could happen, or
that's what we're organising now for January. We'll have the officers there.
So not necessarily a ward meeting, but I'm thinking like like before with the retrofitting. With the retrofitting, the guys came out and did an engagement.
I mean, it's very difficult, Paul, to get officers now because everything has to go to a spend control board. So to get officers time, basically, which has, it has to be for something that's out of hours. So we're trying to get everything done in hours. But I will ask the question and see if we can get, an engagement event set up, maybe in Ambridge House or something like that.
I mean, the guys from Equans have been really good. And before they were setting up monthly engagement meetings with the residents. I mean, those ended because most of them have been moved out. But, the guys from Equans were good at engaging the community about what is it they're going to do, how they're going to do it. So we've got any snagging issues.
Yeah, that's who I'll be asking to come to the meeting, and they can explain which blocks will be next and why they've been chosen.
Yeah.
And also I'll get allocations, people to come along, so see if there is some way maybe that some people from the blocks, the 2 blocks, can be moved. That's a possibility.
Lucy's put
in dehumidifiers gifted to each property. I know they are brilliant, and they do reduce your heating bills, because if you take away the damp, then it's more cost effective to heat the property, and it dries your washing as well.
I think that's a positive idea.
I can put that to them, Lucy.
The situation's so dire in there. I think it's beyond a dehumidifier. I do think that's a good idea, because I think that we've got one in our house and it does make a massive difference. But I mean, we're talking about literal like wind coming through the windows. There's gaps. I mean, that's the severe situation that people are living in those flats.
Well, if people report their windows, if they've got gaps in the windows,
they
can be fixed.
No, they're not.
Diane, through the Equans program, but through just the normal repair program, they can be fixed.
They have, and they don't get fixed. They don't get fixed. I think they're unfixable.
Let me know who they are, and I'll take it up.
I think this situation is unfixable. Like you can't. Whoever comes out to do the fixing, they can't fix them. They're putting paint over mold. Mold comes back after.
Okay.
This is what people are dealing with.
Which properties are involved, and then we can have a meeting with the people and some of the relevant officers and see what can be done.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Lucy, quickly before we wrap up.
Yeah, I think it's all been said really, but yeah, I think part of the problem with around mold is actually education as well. People think, obviously, if you're freezing, especially if you're up in a flat and it's freezing and the heating costs as much as it does, the instinct is to close all the windows tight. Obviously, they're not tight because the draft's through them, but you need ventilation, and if you're cooking and washing, I don't know how people have coped without dehumidifiers for so many years, but they are. Like Paul said, he's got one. Like it doesn't fix the problem, but it will take the edge off and it will reduce mold massively. Yeah. And it's a quick, cheap fix in that sense. Like with blocking at the window, then you can afford to block at the windows with whatever you can because you've got some ventilation inside. But anyway, yeah, just an idea.
Yeah, so it's a good point, because once you do take that humidity away, you're automatically reducing your heating costs, and as people are now not using their tumble dryers like they used to, so that's added dampness in the properties. Yeah, okay, so I'll put that to them, and that's something, and I'll get the relevant officers for the next meeting in January, and then we can put all these questions to them. Right. Okay, I think we've covered everything. Any more hands up? No. Okay, well, thank you everyone for coming today and bearing with us while we had these certain issues so that had to be resolved and coming online at such short notice. Mike, thank you for your presentation.
No problem.
And Bev, thank you for helping for managing the meeting as usual. And look forward to seeing you all at the next meeting in December.
Okay.
So the details will come out as normal. All right.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you
very
everyone.
much. Bye.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.